Do all of you love to eat junk food? And how much do you consume junk food per week? And did you ever read the ingredients on the packages? Then let me ask you, why junk food and student inseparable? So I will tell you first, which is the research conducted by University of Malaysia Sabah (UMS) in 2006 recorded that on 600 students, almost half of the students, which is 66%, consume junk food because it is easy to prepare, fast, and most importantly, suit their liking. So, before I explain further about the dark secrets of junk food, why not I introduce myself? So, I am your presenter, Anis Atikah binti Rosman. So, let's get back to our topic. Let's talk about the junk food secret ingredients that make students become addicted to eat the junk food, chemical substances in junk food, and lastly, disturbing facts about the junk food. So before we go to each point, I would like to share my experience first as a student. I know that we are inseparable from junk food, not to mention that junk food is easier to prepare and delicious. That sometimes I myself, I don't have the time to buy the food at the cafeteria because of my packed schedule, and sometimes I become lazy to go down to buy the food at cafeteria. So by having a junk food, especially instant noodles, is my stomach savior. So, but I think I myself never read the ingredients at the packages. But I think not only me, but the other student as well never read them. So, I made a research on the dark secrets and dark truth behind the junk food as a precaution for my own health. So, let's get to our first topic. The first main idea, which is the first one, is junk food secret and sole ingredients. Not surprised that we all know about these ingredients, but we never care about this, which is salt and sugar that are used in junk food production. These two ingredients are a sole ingredients in making junk food, and without this sugar and salt, the junk food will never become delicious. Besides that, salt and sugar will give a different sensation in our mouth and will send a signal to our brain. We call that foods, which is junk food. It can rapidly vanish or melt in our mouth, and then it will signal to our brain and tell our brain that we are not eating the junk food as much as we actually are. In other words, the salt and sugar that contain in junk food will signal to our brain and telling our brain that we are not eating, we need to eat more, and it can make us become addict. So that's how the salt and sugar works in junk food. I want to share with you about the salt company in North America. The company name is Cargill. It makes about 16 types of modified salt. All of these modified salt are carefully engineered to make sure that the junk food manufacturers can purchase and use this salt and addict you to their foods. So that's how the modified salt sugar works in junk food to make sure we addict. And for some instance, when we eat junk food like noodles or candy or potato chips that famous among the students, we never taste the saltiness or overly sweetness in this food. Why? Because the ingredients, which is salt and sugar, have been modified to make sure we become addict without knowing or without tasting the saltiness or overly sweetness in this food. So, with this being said, not only salt and sugar is a secret ingredients manufacturer use to make a junk food, but also these two ingredients, which is simple, but it can harm our bodies both mentally and physically. So, I will move to the second main point, which is chemical substances in junk food. Chemical in junk food is unavoidable. Why? Because the chemical substances will give a better appearance and to preserve a shelf life of the junk food, but it is dangerous. So the chemical ingredients can be seen roughly with our eyes except for the food coloring, which is we can see the food is red in color, blue or yellow like candy. But I want to share with you that the common ingredients that we can find in junk food is synthetic food dyes, which, as I said before, the food coloring used to make the foods look more appealing and more delicious, but it can cause allergic reaction to some people. And the research has made by scientists that chemical food dyes, synthetic food dyes, has been linked with different types of cancer. And the second one is, I think we know of this one, is MSG. MSG stands for monosodium glutamate. MSG are used in different types of instant noodles to enhancing the taste, which is the instant noodle powder, enhancing the taste, but at the same time to preserve the instant noodles. But one thing about MSG is, shockingly, MSG is a preservative that are used and that is petroleum industry byproduct. So, beside in the food, MSG also used in other product beside food. Shocking, right? Disgusting, isn't it? Like for example, when we consume French fries, we might think that it's just a potato, it's just simple potato, basic one. No, it isn't. Inside the French fries, there is various types of processing chemical. Like I said before, it's salt and sugar, the chemical substances to give a pleasant taste and smell. To say, chemical substances that are used in the food are also used in other products beside food. So, as we know about the chemical substances in junk food, do we still want to eat regularly like before? Okay, let's move to the last one. Disturbing facts about junk food. And let me tell you, junk food can give both long-term and short-term effects in our health, both physically and mentally. So eating junk food is likely letting junk food eat our body slowly. So first and foremost, I want to say that the amount of salt and sugar that we consume can affect our health in several ways. The salt, we know that can increase blood pressure, but beside the blood pressure, the research conducted by Weill Cornell Medicine in New York state that consuming excessive amount of salt can affect our brain function. Like our brain is slow at memorizing if we consume too much salt. So the second one is sugar. Sugar, we know that if we consume too much sugar, it can lead to obesity and diabetes because the sugar will turn into fat in our bodies. Again, we learn about the disturbing facts about the junk food. Things are getting worse as I explained by, right? So now we are at the end of our speech, and I want to conclude that the amount of salt and sugar used in junk food remain hidden, and students never realize that neither identify those ingredients when they eat junk food. Not only that, chemical in junk food is unavoidable, where it is needed to give a better appearance and to preserve a shelf life of the food, but it is also dangerous. Lastly, junk food can give a both long-term and short-term effect on our health. So students may view that junk food as their best friend because it is convenient, easy to eat, and delicious, but they will never know about what inside their favorite food. So I hope that you can learn from my speech and take a precaution to take care of your health. So that's all about my informative speech. Thank you very much.